Hi guys, it's Ray. I am trying to clean up my mess a little bit here, but not put away the things I still need out, so bear with me a minute. I'm going to work on some beach coasters today. I have been trying in my other mold and they're just too deep, so I gave up and I am going to use my shallower geode style molds, and that's that. So I have all these little pieces that I don't need quite yet sitting in the way a bit. I have several cups of resin mixed already. This one's going to turn brown, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to color my resins with alcohol ink. So I'm going to go ahead and use my teak wood for my brown. And I'm going to real quick check my so I am way off level here. So that's going to make a difference at some point in which way these run. So I'm actually probably going to put my brown on this end, if I remember that when I actually start pouring. I don't actually care if they're level today. I just will care tomorrow for the next step. So I have these other 4 cups mixed up. My resin has been mixed for quite a bit. So I'm going to try and get moving here. I'm going to use a bunch of different blues. This one is Lake from Pixis. This one is Laguna from Tim Holtz. Ranger, whatever. And I'm gonna do Sky for a little bit lighter of a blue. And I'm gonna grab Yipper. That's not it. I'm gonna grab I don't know, because I don't know where it is. I'm going to grab Cloudy Blue. I'm going to grab Cloudy Blue for a light blue. Why not? I was looking for Monsoon, but that'll work. I had my Monsoon out earlier. One more. Alright. I just need to get moving before these start to set up on me. Especially since I have another 2 sets mixed up for another project. So, it's quite warm in my room, so things are drying fast. The Cloudy Blue stays relatively light, but that's okay. So I'm going to start with my darkest blue at what's going to be the top. And I actually do want to add some real sand to my brown. So I'm just going to put in a measuring cup of sand. There's a big rock in there, which I will let stand if it's going to stay in the mold. These aren't terribly shallow, so yep. As long as it stays below the top of the mold, it's fine. And I'm going to do my sand layer. There's that little hair I saw. Remember, I'm pouring these upside down, basically. So the bottom's the top, the top's the bottom. Okay. So that's it for that. Now I'm just going to work my way through my blues. And I don't want to quite fill these today because I'm going to do a wave layer tomorrow. And I am going to add some embellishments today. And normally I'd have to wait on the embellishments, but I think because this has been sitting so long, I'm not really going to have to wait. So that's good. So these aren't going to get filled today. That'll be tomorrow. This is that lightest blue. And I still have a bit of that dark blue left, so I'm going to come in with that too. Because I'm not going to waste it. And I don't know how much resin each of these molds takes. I literally just took them out of the package. I'd actually forgotten that I had them. So the answer is, I don't know. If you have them, pour some water in one and measure it. It's the best way to know. So that is that. I'm going to wipe my gloves off. Because this resin's already getting warm, I should be able to go right into embellishing them without much of a problem. I do want to kind of push some of this sand so it's not so round. This one too. These two I like what did. These two I wasn't so much a fan of. So what I have are a bunch of shells, some sand dollars, oceany things, beachy things, whatever. The sand dollars will suck up resin. That's just what they do. Whatever you put in, keep it below the edge or you're not going to have a flat coaster. So, because that sand is in there and some of it's thicker than others, I'm going to have to push some stuff down in. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add some shells to each one. A lot of my shells come from Dollar Tree. I have a bunch that my mom sent me from I don't really know where, so I can't tell you. And I'm not going to be obsessive. They're not going to be identical. I might put a little bit of beach glass in. These come from Dollar Tree too. They come in the little, they actually come in little baggies. I keep all these little glass jars from my shells and just refill them with other shells or the beach glass, things like that. Because why waste these great little jars? I just refill them. Like this one needs to be refilled. But the green's going to kind of disappear, but I'm still going to put a little bit in. And I'm just going to keep going through shells. Like these are actual Dollar Tree shells. $1.25 tree, whatever. However you want to look at it these days. Same store, different pricing, inflation. It happens. It was a long time coming. I know a lot of people are upset about it though. I get it. I've been increasing my own prices as my costs go up, so gotta do what you gotta do. Alright. I'm gonna do a couple more in each one and then I'm gonna leave them alone. My gloves get sticky and this gets harder and harder. Get in there. See, they want to stick to my gloves, but I don't want to do this barehanded because, you know, that's bad. So, trying not to shake out too awful many. These ones are adorable. I do want to try and get them right side up, but I'm going to have to get that one off the edge. They're not going to cooperate. That's fine. Be that way. Okay, what else do I have left down here? Some super blonde little swirlies. Technical name for that. It's a little swirly. No? So that is that for this step. I will be back tomorrow when these are dried. I'm not going to demold them as soon as they're dry. I am going to put a couple little pebbles on these though, and that I am going to do without the gloves on. I'm not going to demold them as soon as they're dry because I don't want to break the seal at the edge of the mold. I am just going to do the next step, and hopefully that's the last step. I know not all beaches are rocky, but most of the ones I go to are. And since I already have that little pebble in this one, I'm just going to go ahead and add some to all of them. Just for a little something extra filler. So, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to let these dry. And I will be... I'm not going to torch these or anything. I am going to actually hit them real quick with a spritz of alcohol in a mini mister, just to release the bubbles that are already forming. So now I'm going to walk away and let them do their thing overnight. Okay, we're going to get started on the second step of this. So we're going to need a little bit of white. I have my resin mixed up here. Probably more than I need. And we're going to need my Alumilite white dye. I'm going to mix some of that in. And I like to use a little bit of my Piñata Blanco white alcohol ink when I do these. And I'll mix that up so I have a nice smooth white. And I did level this today, so I should be pretty good. I'm going to pour my clear in all of them. And if by chance this isn't enough, I will come back in with one final clear layer tomorrow. And I'm thinking I'm not quite going to be full, so And this was not quite 8 ounces of resin, because I did pull an ounce aside for another project, so I'm really looking at 7 basically. So these coasters are quite large. They do take quite a bit of resin each. So I'm going to go ahead and torch lightly, just the centers. I don't have a long-handled lighter would be better than a torch for these, but I just want to get the bulk of the bubbles out. And then I am just going to run my white. I'm just going to do 3 little lines of white. And some of this will end up blowing out, unfortunately. So that should be plenty of white. I'm going to put the diffuser on my heat gun. Turn it on, turn up my fan. And I'm going to start moving it. Just going to push the white around. Okay, I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to grab a little stick and try and move some of the white closer to the edges. I like it for the most part, but I do want some swirled right up to the edges. So I'm just going to manually manipulate it a little bit. Especially the spot where it's sunk pretty deep. So there we go. I can let these sit and cure at this point, or I can go ahead and I'm pretty close to done on all of these, so I may come in with just a little additional resin. Like this one especially, I'm barely going to clear that rock. But the other ones I am above just about everything, so I may come in and just add a little bit of clear here and there just to raise the level a tiny bit. But I will be back to unmold these tomorrow. Okay, time to unmold these and finish them up. Sorry about my mess. But these are done. They did get a little bit of a clear top coat, so let's get to it. Tiny little bit of flash, but not a big deal. They'll just pick right off. It's because I did go up to a doming layer. I'm not going to do the edges on these. I like the way this looks through the side, so I'm actually really happy with these finally. My customer that 2 of these are for has been so insanely patient with me. I wish I'd remembered I had these molds, but they came in when I didn't have room to work on anything, and I kind of put them aside and then stumbled on them. But that's what the back sides look like. This little shell, it's cute. I'm gonna get this board right out of the way. My beautiful leveling job, a ruler and a couple popsicle sticks. So there's number 3. I like the way this one looks. It's got a little bit more flash on it than some of the others I'll have to work off. So I'm going to pick the 2 that I'm going to use for the customer. I'll bring a board back in, actually. So I can get a good look at all 4. I'm not going to use this one because even though it's covered over that thick rock, remember that kind of went in there with my sand in the first place, it does have a little bit of a bump there, so I'm going to eliminate that one right off the bat. And I like this one with that little shell peeking through on the back, so I'm going to use this one for the customer, definitely. And this one does have some bubbles in it, but I think overall it's cuter. So these are the 2 that are going to go to her. And to finish them off, because I want them translucent, I don't want to put cork on the back of these. So I bought some bumpers, like cabinet bumpers. These I just picked up at Walmart. But they're just little plastic dots. They are self-stick. I am not going to trust the self-stick, but I'm going to put 4 of them on each. So I'm going to just use some clear Gorilla Glue, hopefully just a dot. Just a tiny dot for each, that's all it should take. And I'm going to press them on. And let them sit and dry. So, oops, slippery. I'm sure these could be found in bulk somewhere other than buying a pack like this, but it was what was convenient at the time. So that'll give it a flat base to sit on. And you can kind of see a little bit of one through here, but that's the only one I can see, so I'm okay with that. So there you have it, my little beachy coasters. Absolutely love them. The other two will go to retail, honestly. But that's it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.